Hey everybody, it's Cynthia. I was just thinking the other day about growing up and my love for travel and where it all came from. I grew up in a really small town called Columnsville, which is next to Oval, which are two villages next to Williamsport, Pennsylvania. And it's a real big farm area. And my mom was 13 of 14 children, and my dad is the oldest of seven. And we never really went on any family vacations. Our neighbors, on the other hand, used to go all the time to Ocean City, Maryland, and all different places, and they always came back with the greatest and latest things. And I always felt, I guess, left out because of that. We did get the opportunity one year. My mom took us to one of her friends' places in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, and we camped in a tent out back, which wasn't so bad because they had a swimming pool and that was a lot of fun. But we really didn't have a lot of money to be able to go places and do the things that a lot of families do. So when I got to high school, there was an opportunity if you were in a language club to be able to go on a 2-week trip to Europe. So I joined as soon as I could in ninth grade because the more years you had, the better the opportunity was to go. So I went to my dad, and at that time I think it was $1,500. He scraped it together and I was able to go and had the time of my life. And that really started my travel bug. And as I got older, I kept thinking, what a great opportunity it'd be for me to take my mom different places and to share the things I had seen in Europe with her because I know it meant a lot. Unfortunately, my mom passed away when I was 25, which was devastating because she took her life at her own hand, which is a whole nother story we can go into at a different time. And she had worked very hard to give us the best upbringing that was possible. And what she instilled in me was the love of children and the love of all children. And it makes me very sad because my kids never had the opportunity to know what it was like to have her as a grandmother because she wasn't around. She taught me that you're never as tall as when you stoop to help a child. And so helping my own grandchildren is very near and dear to my heart. A couple years ago, my husband wanted to retire somewhere where it was warm. I had since moved to Washington, D.C., and that was really good because it was a great way for me to get out of the area. However, when I got on the plane, I thought, oh my gosh, there's no way I'm going to move away from my kids. And I didn't have any grandkids at that time, and my kids were all in college. But we were here for a week and absolutely loved it. So he still had 2 years to go before he retired, and I moved down by myself. So I was a married woman, but single in Panama, which was really a great opportunity for me. However, I was never able to really be able to do what I wanted to for my kids and to find that niche that really made me happy. And you probably know what I'm talking about. We all have something that we know that we can do, but finding that what is it and how do I do it? I know that I'm a qualified, bright woman, but why? What is holding me back? What is it that I can't just do what I see other people doing? And it was so frustrating. It was causing a lot of internal stress for me. My husband is awesome and he supports me in every way possible. But I wanted to be there for my kids, and I didn't want to be stuck in a job where I couldn't just pick up and go if somebody had a need or somebody was doing something really spectacular that I wanted to be there. So I'm terrible at focusing, and I've worked really hard on it. I have this bracelet. It came from when I ran the Marine Corps Marathon because I'm a shiny objects person that has a tendency to go from thing to thing to thing, and I worry about why is it I can't focus and how can I get that discipline that I need? And sometimes it's not necessarily about not focusing, it's that fear of, am I going to succeed at this thing? And I don't know what I don't know, and I don't have the brain bandwidth to be able to learn a new thing, to be able to make it succeed. And I'm really good at starting things, but not so good at following through and finishing them. And that is an internal struggle that is very difficult for someone who has shiny object, as my friend jokes and says, squirrel. Even in the middle of conversations, we have that. So I came upon an opportunity that was just amazing to me. I took a trip last year in a transatlantic trip from the Gran Canaria back to Panama to Cologne with some of my friends. And the trip was amazing. It was 2 weeks on a boat with only about 1,300 of your closest friends, and the trip was very inexpensive, like $750. So it wasn't necessarily a money thing, but while I was on that trip, there were a group of digital nomads having a conference, and I was like, oh my God, I found my tribe. I found my peeps. I was not, and it wasn't the people that I was traveling with. It was actually a group of entrepreneurs who were doing a conference on a ship. I didn't know anything about it, but I would eavesdrop on some of their conversations. And I remember the one conversation they were talking about how difficult it is being a digital nomad because the parents just didn't get it. And so at the end of it, I walked up to him and I said, if you think it's difficult for you that your parents don't get it, think how difficult it is for someone who's older, who really wants the opportunity to travel. We've raised our kids, our grandkids are coming along, and we want to be able to work from anywhere in the world. So finding out what is that thing that I can do, that I want to do, and where can someone walk me through what it is and show me the way, because I'm a good follower if I have a path or a map and directions. And I came across this roaming income club that Nat and Jody founded, and within that I was introduced to Russell Brunson and ClickFunnels. Oh my God, could it not be any better for me to have this opportunity that I can now just click on this, use it, take my passions of whatever they happen to be, and walk it through each and every one of these things and be able to be anywhere in the world. I can go back for my grandson's graduation from kindergarten. I can now be there when my kids get married or when they say, hey mom, let's go somewhere or do something. And so I really found my why. And that was so important because it's all about giving my children and my legacy the opportunities to be able to work online, to have an income that I don't have to be sitting at my computer. I don't have to be tied to a desk. I don't have to be tied to a location, that I can actually have an income at something that makes me happy. And with that, someone said to me one time, and just because you reach your goals and you make the amount of money that you set for a goal, obviously you can change your goals. But what about if you have all the money in the world that you need and then you start empowering other people to do the things that you do, or to have their whys, or to follow their passions? What a fantastic thing to have. I mean, to be able to open doors for not just people I love, but people that I don't know, and to be able to pass along the things that I learned. What an opportunity. So I am absolutely loving this One Funnel Away challenge because it has forced me to be disciplined and to be able to just have this roadmap and this plan to be able to do what it is that I want to do. I just wanted to share that with you today because I hope for each of you guys that you get that epiphany or aha moment or that opportunity to really feel what I'm feeling right now. Cheers.